Hello, my profane friends. I'm just going to give it 5 minutes just for people to log on. You know me, I'm no professional. So, how this is going to turn out, I don't know. But that there is the Masonic Freemasons. How can I get that? I'm just trying to get that camera. How's there shadow there? I'll put light on this and everything. Like I said, it's not professional. Oh, if I go that way, it comes into the light a bit better, I suppose. Like that. There we go. Hello, I'm on rotation now. We're just going to give it 5 minutes just to see. But that's Freemasonry signage right there. The circle, the square, and the pyramid. That is it. And that's your rankings. Do you know what I mean? I think this can be played, I don't know. It just says rotate device. I don't know why it's rotating. Right, let's try it like that. It's not saying rotate anymore. But that's, yeah. I'm going to show you some lectures. Many a lecture, actually. I'm going to go through some of my conspiracy books. Do you know what I mean? Got some nuts here. What a nice. I'll give it 5 or 10 minutes. So if anyone's just joining and watching this video, I'd more than likely go to the 5-minute mark, yeah? So I'll leave it for 5 minutes. Then I'll start the lecture. You know what I mean? Is it a lecture? I don't know. I'm just going to talk off the base. Do you know what I mean? Got my coffee. Lovely. I've got my no disturb sign. I'm still here. I'm still here, don't worry. I'm just getting up. I'm going to get some more books. Because I think it's important for people to see the visual of what Freemasonry is all about. You know what I mean? Because without the visuals, people can't visualise it, can they? That's quite good, really, isn't it? You know what I mean? But I mean, the thing is, you got to understand, yeah, Freemasonry is vast, yeah. There's many levels to it, or as they say, planes, yeah. They call it levels, but it's planes, yeah, like planes of planes of existence. And I think I've just found the book that says, or is this the book? I think I've just found the book that says they get £500,000, £100,000 when they become Master Masons. I think I've just found the bloody book. Can you believe it? Wow. Let me find it, man. I'm sure this is it. But again, this is like well, you can't see the book yet, can you? But you will be, I promise. Yeah, this is like a quiz book as well for Master Masons. I think this is the actual book, believe it or not. Oh my God. If it is, I'll show you where a Master Mason, when he's raised to a Master Mason, actually gets £100,000. That's tax free, by the way. Is this the book or not? I hope it is. Well, I've had a little flick through it and I haven't seen it, but this is similar to the book that it's in, but you'll get a look at it anyway. So don't you worry, my profane friends. This is the book I'm on about here. Again, the most worshipful Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of Florida. The Lodge Officers Training Book. But that's not the only one. I've got other training books I'm going to show you. Yeah. But anyway, that's just another one. I just put that the old off my shelf. I should show you my books, really, how vast my catalogue of Masonic books is. You know what I mean? If you think of a box, I was going to say a foot by foot. Well, if you say a box by 3 foot by 3 foot square, I could fill that with books no problem. Do you know what I mean? And then I could do that maybe 2 times, maybe 3. Do you know what I mean? With Masonic, that's just Masonic Freemason books, that is. Do you know what I mean? It's mad, I tell you. I've got boxes and boxes of them. Anyway, my profane friends, I'm going to start the lecture. Where's my bloody glasses? Yeah, 5.5 minutes. Look, so we're in. Okay, I'm going to start now. Now, I've got loads of books to go through. Yeah, like I said, lots of markings up here. I'm going to show you my conspiracy books here, right? Like this. I'm saying rotate. If you look at her neckline here, look, see, it's like she's got a mask on. But I'll get into that in a minute. And then if you go into these and you watch, look how their neckline is on the booklet. You see, it's not natural. Remember, when you take a photograph, yeah, the flash bulb is in front of them. Yeah. And also, look, this is other things they do. Look, see that? Look, what's she holding? This look like a bag. Is this a true picture? I don't know. If that's a handbag, she's not even holding it. Do you see what I mean? And there's other things like weird. Where is it? This other one. Look, Britney Spears. Is she supposed to be holding the phone, or what? There's something missing there. Do you see what I mean? And they keep doing all these crazy things. But I'll get into it in a minute, and I'll show you. You know, because these, you know, it's just mad how they get away with this stuff. Anyway, that's just a bit of, you know, this is one of my favourite mags because it tells you a lot. I mean, look at the neckline, because I've had the paper. I don't know if you can see that clearly. Can you see that? Look, it's like her head has been just stuffed on. I don't know if you can see that. You know what I mean? There's a big line, right? It goes right round her head like that there, and it just looks like she's got to put like a mask on or something. Do you know what I mean? But that's I can't remember her name now. Oh yeah, Katie Holmes. But I'll show you some more stuff what's weird in these mags. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, they get half truths in them, you know. Anyway, like I said, there's other things I'm going to go through, like Masonic, you know, officers training magazines. I'm going to go through a bit of heraldry. Very important, very important. It's one of the biggest studies you should ever look to see who's running your town or city, and actually the world. Do you know what I mean? Because it isn't called a treaty on heraldic, British and foreign. You know what I mean? Heraldry, basically. Basically, this is what run your town and cities. You see, and as you can see within the heraldry, look, you can see the old configuration of the square and compass, but these are the families that rule your towns and cities. And that's every town and city. There's the fleur de pistlet, you see, but each one of them a Freemason will recognize, you see, and they answer to that. Obviously, like this, you know, a Master Mason won't know much about it. Do you know what I mean? But as you go higher, this is what runs your town. You know, this is the ranks of the system. Look, see, there's the checkerboard floor, you see. But these are the people that run your town and cities. But more on that in a bit. You know what I mean? Some of this I've already gone through, but I will repeat it. Just things. But now this book here. Oh, is that the book I'm on? Oh, wait a minute. I'll put that. I'm going to go through that in a minute. The Third Degree Matters. This book, what we're now going to look at here. Let me have a look. Wait a minute. Yeah, this is the SR. I forgot what the bloody book is. Wait a minute. Because I can't read that right in there, believe it or not. It's amazing. Oh yeah, here we are. The IS of Golden Rosy Cross, yeah, Rosy Cross, yeah. But this is Freemasonry here. Look, the square, the circle, and the pyramid. That is the basics of Freemason symbolism. Okay. Obviously, the square and compass. The compass makes the circle. The square makes the square. And the pyramid is 33 degrees on each angle. So it's 33, 33, 33. So it's 6, 6, 6. And don't forget, we put another, we'll come on to that a bit later, right? I believe. Yeah, you'll come on, not in this book, in another book. I think it's this one. Let me just check. It's important that I keep it together, I presume, isn't it? Rather than, but you know me, I'm always all over the bloody place. Oh baby, well the book's here anyway, one of these books, and I don't know which, but you've got to remember in here there will be a down pyramid, yeah, which then gives us the and I don't want to say what it is, but you'll know exactly what I'm on about. Okay, and then if you do the 232 or my 323, then you get the G right in the center here, okay? But the true meaning of life, yeah, now this is Freemasonry, of course. For everybody on this earth, there is one thing more important to know than anything else: the true meaning of life. All the phenomena of life on this earth bears the stamp of time. All life forms have a beginning, grow towards a certain peak of development, and ultimately come to the inevitable and lawful end. The wheel of birth and death rotates unceasingly. As a result, the question arises, why do we live? Does life really have a deeper meaning? Even at birth, we carry within us the seed of death. So, what is the purpose of living? What task do we have to fulfill? Is the aim of life to be found in the field of humanism or psychology? Wait there, bloody hell. Sorry if my writing isn't that good reading. Sociology, sorry, yeah. Or idealism or economics? Or is it the aim of life to acquire possession or to gain a good position of society or to main the human race by producing children? Surely all these things cannot be the true meaning of life, for all these attainments in their turn are perishable. There is nothing in them that speaks of eternity. And yet the philosophers of all times have said, if there is a temporal existence, then eternity must also exist. But where do we find it? And, you know, I'll answer this one for myself. I think you find it in Freemasonry because it is eternal, isn't it? You know, how can you now get rid of Freemason? It's been eternal on this earth for many, many decades. And in a book, in a minute, I'm going to show you where like, you know, where they've gone right back in time. Do you know what I mean? And they verify it themselves in the book. Okay. Anyway. Right, medical science has found that even in the womb of the first signs of aging and wear appear in the child. Yeah, this should bring us to the logical conclusion that life as we know it does not bear the marks of eternity. So where should we seek the principles of eternity? Right, now remember, this is what, you know, these are the teachings of Freemasonry, all right? And they think they're eternal gods and they're all gone up to the celestial temple up above and all that, right? Right, one person's life is long while another is short. One person's life is spent in luxury, another's in poverty. One person's enjoys vitality and health while another is sick and weak. Yeah, yet the purpose of life, the task of life, is the same for everyone. And what is more, this goal is actually attainable for everyone, whether they be strong, healthy, or weak and frail. Well, that's a lie, because you'll only get ahead in life, right, if the Freemasons allow it. Because if they don't want you to get anywhere, you ain't going anywhere, and that's a fact. Do you know what I mean? And that's in every town and city. I don't care where you are. So yeah, and then you can go on the other side, but we won't go into that. You know what I mean? They can make you sick. They can make you weak. Do you know what I mean? The Freemasons can make you sick. They can make you weak. Do you know what I mean? They can make you have a luxury life. Do you know what I mean? Or they can make you live in poverty. That's a fact. Yeah. But anyway, that's another story, my profane friends. The spiritual school of Golden Rush. I am reading this, okay? So just, you know, I don't want to, you know, this will all be scanned up and put on my forum anyway. I'm just giving you some of the highlights, okay? The spiritual school of the Golden Rosy Cross comes to you explain this goal and how it can be reached. For the school of the Rosy Cross, the aim of life is certainly not death, although many people believe it is and to try to rationalize this logically. The spiritual school of the Golden Rosy Cross, the Lectorium Roscariosinum, I'll let you read that, guys. Lectorium Rosarium directs itself to those who, driven by the inner disquiet, are searching for the true meaning of life, but have not yet found it, and who nevertheless cherish the hope that they may find it somewhere, the one thing not affected by time or subject to time, which a lodge is not subject to time. Do you see what I mean? If you know, in Freemasonry, when they go into the lodge, there's no time. Do you see what I mean? And this is the thing, how they try to make themselves out, you know, that they're eternal and always will be as one. Do you know what I mean? But that's my interpretation and the way I see it. Do you know what I mean? But whether that's true or fact, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? That's just my. I just know there's no time in the lodge. Yeah, time is eternal. Do you know what I mean? And the heavenly blah blah canopy above go over you. That's all eternal to them. Do you see what I mean? It's only when they come out the lodge, everything's game on. Do you know what I mean for them? Right, I'm gonna go, I'm not gonna go reading all of this. Yeah, I just wanted you to, just understand a little bit about this. All right. Anyway, that's the introduction. You know what I mean? And then look, my kingdom is not of this world. You see? In our first letter, we focused our attention on the true meaning of life and how it relates to the work carried out by spiritual school of the rosy cross on behalf of mankind. You see, on behalf of mankind. This work is not confirmed to the present, and the spiritual school of the rosy cross certainly does not pretend to bring anything new in this respect. On the contrary, this work is as old as mankind itself, and the expressions of it are like links in a chain, which lead unbroken right back to the dawn of time. Such a link is formed every time the spiritual school manifests itself in matter. The light calls mankind constantly in order to make man conscious of the true purpose of life. The true meaning of our earthly existence is for man to return to his original domain of life, to the light realm, the kingdom of God. When man becomes conscious of his individuality, he discovers his loneliness and seeks participation in community or groups, unless you're a perjured individual and then you're isolated. Do you know what I mean? But that's another story. He tries to find something that will give him a sense of belonging. Yet all these communities function only on a level of nature, on an earthly horizontal level. The mass migrations of antiquity can also be accounted for in this way, as can the more recent migrations set in motion by the last war. It is always a risky decision to give up one's home and travel to an unknown world, as many people know from their own experiences. And I'll leave that there. All right, my profane friends. I'm just giving you a little tickle of each, Oh, yeah. Where's the next one? And that's the Electrum Kingdom, of whose exit is made now as living glory reality. Right. The mystery of birth and death. Our last letter explained the heaven man longs for is not to be found in the hereafter. Okay, but the earthly sphere and hereafter are two halves which together constitute this world. So all supernatural and supersensory phenomena and experiences are in fact connected with the second, that is, the invisible half of this world, and not with the original kingdom of God, which is something quite different. We also explain that human existence consists of an endless cycle between the cradle and the grave, and then between the grave and the cradle. We would like to explain this further. Let us take the Earth as an example. It is known that a number of clearly defined spheres envelope our globe, yeah, including the troposphere, the troposphere and the stratosphere and the ionosphere and the atmosphere. All these spheres are enclosed by the Van Allen belt. Okay, it's a bit for the globers here, I suppose. You know what I mean, my profane friends. Right, let me just have a sip of the coffee. Now, I don't know, I testify that. Oh yeah, so I can answer questions. I've got one down here, but that's all I can see. If I can get more, then I'll try and answer your questions. Anyway, where was I? Man as a miniature cosmos. Wait there. Oh yeah, man as a miniature cosmos, a microcosm, is composed in exactly the same way. He consists of various bodies and forces which together form a sphere. The body of flesh and blood is in fact only visible part of the body, part of the whole human system. For the moment, this brief description of man as microcosms microcosms, yeah, whatever that says. But we will explain this subject more fully later in the latter letter. You know what I mean? Right. Meanwhile, with the help to clarify what we have to say about the mystery of birth and death, is if we use the daily cycle of the sun as an analogy to us, the sun appears to rise in the east at dawn, to reach its zenith at noon, and to set in the west at night. If we were to apply this analogy to human life, then the death of the body, like the setting of the sun, would seem to be a definite end. Yet we know that the sun also continues on its way during the night, and so by analogy we can reduce that the material death is not in fact a real end. Just as the sun rises again at the end of the night and becomes visible once more as a logical consequence of its unseen nocturnal journey, so human life does not end with death, but carries on unseen. So, contrary to popular belief, here is an unceasing motion, an endless cycle, always leading to a new manifestation of life. So the death in the earthly sphere is at the same time a birth in the hereafter. The day of the human existence is followed by the night, and just as the night is followed by the day, so the sojourn of the human system in the hereafter is followed by a new material birth in the earthly sphere. As a result of this birth, the human system has a completely new personality, but the system itself remains the same, and in it the fate of the experiences that have to be lived through are engraved. The sequence of events, birth, maturation, maturation. Just make sure you guys get it. Maturation, decline, death, and birth again takes place systematically and is inescapable. There you go, a little tickler on that one there. You know what I mean? Now, shall I carry on, or do I, now we're going into the Greek temple here, so I'll read this one. Above the entrance of the temple of the Greek mysteries at Delphi are the words, "Man, know yourself." Man needs self-knowledge in order to restore the link with the divine. But what does man actually know of himself? Medical science can give us an exhaustive explanation of every organ in our bodies, of flesh and blood, but there are other questions about our human state that medical science cannot answer. Among these are the questions on which our last letter was based. Where does man go after death? And where does man come from? In this letter, we shall try to throw some light on the idea that there is much more to man than simply a body of dense matter, a mass of millions of cells. First of all, it needs to be said that when we speak of man, we are referring to an entire system. Beyond the visible body, invisible bodies also exists. There is etheric body. Is it etheric body there? Which has a varying degree of density and diverse function, and the astral body, I like astral projection. In addition, there's a mental body which is bonded by what we call the aural field, right? Which therefore enclose the visible as well as the invisible bodies. As we mentioned in the last letter, the essence of all experiences, thoughts and deeds of former periods of existence is etched into our aural field. The aural field could be compared with the star-encrusted night sky, with the focal point of experience forming the stars, and that is why we sometimes speak of an aural firmament. I always get that bloody word wrong. Aural firmament. You know what I mean, guys. We also mentioned that this explains why one person's fate can also be different from another's. And since this fate is created by man himself, it is clear that man himself is responsible for his own fate and for that of his successor in the microcosms, whatever that bloody word is. This is expressed in biblical language as what man sows, he will also reap. Yes, you Freemasons. Right, I'll do the law of karma. Yeah, I think I will. It is the law of karma, the law of cause and effect. Whatever one invokes makes itself felt in the whole system. So it is rather short-sighted to say, what do I care about an afterlife? I will live my life now, and what comes afterwards does not interest me. Only an unknowing person speaks like that. Someone who does not know how things, oh, I went 2 pages there, are connected, and sees his present earthly life as totally as something that stands by itself. There you go. That's that one. I think that's tormented you enough, I think, on that lecture, don't you? At the beginning of this 5th and final letter, we would like to review briefly what we have discussed in the preceding letters. The main points were as follows. Everything in this world is subject to rising, shining, and fading. In principle, nothing of eternity can be found in this world. It is man's task to return to the original divine house of the Father on the basis of the last remnant of the divine in him. We drew your attention to this is number 2, sorry. We drew your attention to the meaning of the words, my kingdom is not of this world. The entire human system sojourns alternatively in the invisible world and in the hereafter. At death, man enters into the regions of the hereafter, not the kingdom of God. Both the world and the man consists of visible and invisible part. The kingdom of God is something entirely different and should in no way be confused with the invisible part of our field of existence. I wonder if that's what we're referring to sleep, maybe, I don't know. Right, we described the composition, this is number 3, of the human system with its various tenacious material bodies and forces. Number 4, we tried to explain that man is lived, that he does not in any way possess the freedom he longs for, and that there can be no question of free guidance of and determination of his destiny. Man does not know what he really is. He does not know his true condition and is unaware of his lack of freedom. That's bloody true. We're all free though, but no one knows they're bloody. We're all slaves anyway. Thinking, feeling, desiring, and willing to keep him imprisoned in an ever recurring round. And that's true, we do. We keep ourselves in this prison. In this context, it should also be added that man attracts whatever he longs for and links himself with the forces that correspond to the object of his desires. The urge to self-fulfillment is active in everyone, and we all exert ourselves to attain whatever aim we have in life. It makes no difference what sort of desire it is, whether it is good or bad in the ordinary sense, or whether what one is striving for is material or idealistic. The response is always in accordance with whatever is desired. Now you might say, I long for Christ, so it is Christ who will respond to my longing. But just consider honestly what you in fact understand by Christ. The longing of the I will certainly be answered, but not for the pure Christ forces of the divine realm. For Christ and his kingdom do not belong to our nature order, in which longing can only come from the I consciousness and the blood. The I, or is it the one? I don't know. It's the I. I think it's the I don't know what that means anyway. And the blood inherit the kingdom of God. Oh, I see. 1 Corinthians 15:50. Anyway, when in spite of this we try on the basis of the I and the blood to reach the divine realm, only an ordinary power of nature can develop. The response will quite frankly be an imitation Christ and the binding with the tenacious material spheres of the hereafter of this world. Do you see a fallacy? Do you see the fallacy? You want the Christ of the true divine realm, but you are not able to receive him or call him because you do not know him. In this lies the explanation for the fact that many people, essentially those that have a true longing for God, can do nothing with Christian mythology and turn away from it in disappointment. They do not recognize the reason, for they have not yet understood that it is only possible to follow Christ on the basis of the divine in us, and that this fundamental principle must first be brought to life. If we are earnest in our longing to follow Christ, we will need to devote ourselves to the problem of the rebirth out of water and spirit. John 3:5. a rebirth out of the divine original substance and out of the all-encompassing divine spirit we need to take place. In fact, this is our original task of Christianity. And then I'll leave it there for that one. A bit more of a torment and a tease, I suppose. But there you go, my profane friends. There it is. Oh, and I'll go down there slow so you can read that. I'm not very good at... It's saying locked. I don't know what that means. It says rotate the voice. I'll leave it like that then. I presume that's not recording as I want it to. And there you go. Well, that's one book, my profane friends. I'm sure people are speaking on here. Right, pin message, report, remove, put user in timeout, hide user, add a moderator. I don't get what that means. Anyway, my profane friends, that's book one. Now, here's the second book, right? Tynecastle Lodge, Newcastle upon Tyne, a lecture entitled The Third Degree Matters. Okay. Now, why did I open the page to this? I can't remember. Just give me a second. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Now, watch this. Look, this is how far back the Freemasons go, yeah? But obviously they go well back before that, okay? Ooh. Now, what is the earliest reference to the division of Freemasonry into the 3 degrees? A precise answer to this question depends on the meaning of the word degrees. If it means the grades, i.e. the different levels of status within the framework or organisation of the operative masonry, then it is certain that there are 3 grades: apprentice, fellow and master. Very well established in the mason trade in circa 1390. Okay, so you work that out. They were well around this time. Do you know what I mean? And look, and perhaps 100 years earlier. Okay, so you're looking in the 1200s just there. Do you know what I mean? So you work it out. You know what I mean? How long these Freemasons have been working them. In modern Masonic usage, however, the word degrees relates to the actual ceremonies of admission into the craft, and in this sense, the full set of the 3 degrees did not make its appearance in Masonic practice until the 3rd decade of the 18th century, full 300 years later than the earlier grades usage. Okay. Now, I ain't got to go into all of that because I don't need to, because we know all about it. But look, in the foot, look, it seems certain that there is only 1 degree in the 1400s, and it must have been of the fellow craft, i.e. the fully trained mason. Yeah, there's a great deal of legal and other document evidence showing that at that period, apprentices were the chattels of their masters. Okay, remember that. Anyone below a master mason follows their orders. Do you see what I mean? And they have to give them money, you know, all that sort of stuff. Where, like, you know, if I was a president of a biker gang, then that would be the they don't call them an apprentice, they call them I forgot what they're bloody called now. Oh, baby. A prospect. Yeah, that's all that is. This is the same as a biker gang. Do you know what I mean? Same ranks, same army, same thing. Yeah. So yeah, this is, so anyone who's above the rank, and I'll show you again in here where, you know, they have to do as they're told. Yeah, has made him an entry into the lodge. In the minutes in Scotland confirmed that it exists 2 degrees. The first entered the apprentice, the second in the fellow craft. Wait a minute, I'll be with you. Here it is. No, in 1696. Look, okay, where the first of a set of 3 texts describing the ritual, all indicating that the second and highest degree then being worked in the Scottish lodges was for the master of fellow crafts. Yeah, within the lodge, both were equal status. Right, now this is the important bit, i.e. fully trained masons. Right, but outside the lodge, look, right, outside the lodge, the master could be an employer, but the fellow craft was an employee. You see what I mean? Although this was Scottish practice, there is useful evidence that of somewhat similar sanctioned situation applied in England and at the time when the Grand Lodge was founded in 1717, i.e. only 2 degrees and regular, whatever that means, uh, was the master and fellow craft. You see what I mean? And then it goes, obviously, look at the dates when they go back. Like I said, people think Freemasonry came about in 1717. It didn't, yeah? Right? The Freemasons have been around forever, decades, running towns, running cities, and everything else, right? And they didn't come around in 17. All what happened in 1717, yeah, was all the lodges that kept going to war against each other, right, had a peaceful, basically they said, well, let's get together rather than us all keep fighting all over the time. Let's get together and just run the whole planet. Do you know what I mean? Rather than countries and all the rest of it. And that's all they've done, yeah? And that's where they worked from since, to go for a one world, government, one new world, whatever you want to call it. And that's what I'm saying. They've been around for decades and they're now trying to just work. Basically, they're trying to work as, see, there's a world lodge. You've got to understand, there's a world lodge, right? Where all the lodges in each country meet, okay? Yeah, you see it in the Royal Albert Hall, yeah? That's just part of it, that is. But there's a World Lodge above that, yeah? And they meet, like, say, every 10 years or something like that, or every 5 years, right? But that's so secret, you wouldn't even know about it. I don't even know about it or where it is, blah, blah. But I know there's a World Lodge because I've seen it and I read it in the book, okay? So you've got to imagine it. Say, like, you got the world, like the different countries, right? We'll call them Illuminati running the countries, and then below them, the Illuminati are the people that run the infrastructure, like the states, or here it's the counties, yeah. In America, it's the states, yeah. So you've got the people who run the country. You then got the people who run the different states or counties, yeah, for them people. And then they put their families. These are all different family members as you go down, of course. Then you got the people that run the estates or the counties. Their families then run the cities and the towns within the states and the counties, yeah. And then within the cities and within the towns, you then got more family members that'll run the banking systems and all the rest of it for all that are above us. Do you see what I mean? So what we need to do is take out the towns and the cities so they can't respond to other towns and cities. Do you see what I mean? And that's what you got to do. You got to take it away because they're working as one big unit for the complete domination of the world. Do you know what I mean? And they've snuck in on every town and city, and no one's aware of it. You go ask anyone, I don't care who it is, who you talk to, no one's aware of what Freemasonry is, who's running the town halls, who's running your city halls, or anything else. Do you know what I mean? But they've done it and dominated everything over the years, and we're talking decades working as one people. Yeah, I'm going to show you that in the books. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, what's going on here? Let's put a bit more light on that. So so then the people within the town and the cities, yeah, they're running the councils, yeah, social services and all that, and the police, yeah. So when you're complaining, it's all isolated cases, yeah, and they're all getting shushed up and shushed, yeah, because we've got no say. They know we're separated, yeah. Now, say I got, like, you obviously listen to my complaints and my moans, right? But in someone in, say, Chicago City, do they know about that? No. But it's the same system. Do you see what I mean? And the same system goes on in every town, every city, but they shush you down because you're isolated and you're divided. Do you see what I mean? But they're not. Do you know what I mean? So they work as a team. Do you know what I mean? And they're on it all the time. Yeah. No one's thinking about anything. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. But I'm going to show you some books in a minute where they're organising themselves to take, you'll see there's, control of your schools, everything, every infrastructure. They're thinking of it in every level of towns and cities. Do you know what I mean? They're your shopkeepers. Do you know what I mean? Anything with value or ownership, they own it and they own you. Do you know what I mean? You ain't got to go think of like number 10 down the street or Washington and all that bollocks. They're right on your doorstep. Do you know what I mean? They're in your towns and your cities. They're the ones serving your food, and running the shops and all the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? They're the infrastructure. They're the lorry drivers, the lorry companies, the bus companies, the train station, the whole shebang. They run it all. Do you know what I mean? The difference is, like I say, when you've got a complaint and you're on your own, whether it's against social services or the police, they isolate you and use you as an isolation. They don't. That's why you don't see it on the news. Yeah, you ain't going to ever see a newscaster go, well, the same thing's happening in this town as this town and that town, the police are doing the same thing to the profane, you ain't going to hear that. Do you know what I mean? Because then you go, well, if that's happening, why is this happening? You know what I mean? And then you start complaining about it, but they don't. They shut it down. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, they have to report. They can't shut everything down because some people have got more power than others. You know, and they can't get it out. But again, that's where I get a bit confused about the situation. You know, because I think, how did that come out? You know, blah blah blah. Mm. Mm. Right now, so this is the trouble. Freemasonry has every avenue of help shushed up. You go to the doctors, you're seeing a Freemason. You go to a psychiatrist, you're seeing a Freemason. You go to the police, you're seeing a Freemason. Do you see what I mean? And that's their shush. They shush up everything. You go see the vicar, it's a Freemason. Do you see what I mean? And that's all they do. They come in and they shush us up, because we're divided. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like me, for instance, where am I going to go for help? What am I going to do? Nowhere, because the police, whatever, that don't matter, whatever new of help there is, it's all shut up and shushed. Do you know what I mean? And you can go all day long. You know, I can show you people complaining to the council all day. They're not living, you know, they're homeless, they're on the streets, they got no money. Do you know what I mean? They're not getting any help because the Freemasons don't want you to have help. They want that divide and conquer, because so long as there's chaos going on, their brothers, the police and everything else, and everyone else is distracted by it. Do you see what I mean? And they're not focusing on anything. And that's just their divide and conquer, and I can go on all day about it. But there you go. Right, so let's move on a little bit more. I start getting into my rants. You know what I'm like when I start ranting. Right, in the secondary, hereby promoting an original second degree. First of these, the Trinity College in 1711. See, they're your colleges. Do you know what I mean? They own your colleges, they own everything, they own your schools, they own everything. You know, you've got to look at it. You know what I mean? You've got to expand your mind a little bit and think, you know, when you see a policeman, that's not a fucking policeman, that's a Freemason. When you go into a shop and someone's selling you something, that's a Freemason selling you something, and the product he's selling you is more than likely Masonically made by the Freemasons. Do you see what I mean? They run it all, and they can cut you off from it and all. They can cut your food off, they can cut this off, cut that, and they'll call strikes and everything. This is what they do. You've got all this to come to get this, because it's just simple going, oh, I'm going to take we're going to take the power. They ain't going to allow you to take the power. Do you know what I mean? They ain't. You know what I mean? Look in France now, the riots that are going on over there and all that. Yeah, so the ones who are doing all the more than likely the damage are the Freemasons, because then it gives their police more power. Do you know what I mean? I think someone's already been shot and things like this. Do you know what I mean? You cannot take power back. They will not allow it. But you can, if you did it in an orderly fashion, take over your parish councils. You know, when you walk into the councils, make sure you're numbered and you go, you're a Freemason, dun dun dun, that you are, and then start educating other profane people about them. Do you know what I mean? Saying, look, do you want these people in charge? Look, this is why you've got nothing. Do you know what I mean? This is why, look at these people in this, and you've got to work your towns together like they do. Do you know what I mean? Show other examples of the same thing, the same corruption is going on in every town and city. You know what I mean? When there's a like a something like when they getting a bridge built, yeah, you look at the contractors on there, all Freemason linked. Do you know what I mean? Anyone else going to go get a contract on there? Of course you in, because you're not a Freemason. Do you know what I mean? You're not a builder. You're not. Do you see what I mean? You ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting anywhere. But anyway, that's another story. But like I said, you ain't taking the power back from these people. No chance. Not like that. And especially doing what France is doing. All they're doing, again, and this is what they love doing, is the profane, the smashing up their own stuff. Do you know what I mean? What is the point of it? They're in. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be doing that. Do you know what I mean? You just got to go to your parish councils and start ousting the Freemasons out, questioning them. You know, what are you doing here? You're a cult. You're involved. You're an army. You're a gang, yeah? Why are you taking the majority vote? You're not only just fucking taking over this parish council, you're running our police stations. You're not only running our police station, you're running our fire brigade, you're running our our lifeboat crews. Do you know what I mean? They're running everything. Prove me wrong. Go see. They're running your lifeboats. They're running your fire brigade and everything, the whole infrastructure. And this is what I don't think people are going to get. Do you know what I mean? Because these are the people you've got to roast out, and they ain't going to allow that, because the one thing that protects them is the law, because the law protects them from you, the profane. Do you see what I mean? because they've got the uniforms and all the rest of it. So how are you going to get them out of power? Do you see what I'm saying? You know, unless you don't go to the bottom of it and say, look, we now got our own parish council. You know, make your own parish council up, whatever it takes. I don't know. You know, there's someone talking about it the other day, you know, being a separate entity, you know, making your own, what do you call it? In every town and city, you've got to be under one, obviously, but, you know, be the Profane club, you know what I mean? And make your own political party up in every town and city and say, look, we've had enough of you, you know, and that's it. Boom, boom. But you can't let it go the way Hitler wanted it, and you can't let them control it, the Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? You've got to do it for the better of the good of the profane people. Do you know what I mean? You don't want greedy people up there. You know, that's the trouble with it. But anyway, look, a hint of the third degrees in the part. Was that going, or was that? Oh, I hope I was still going and spilling there. I've got one comment. That's unreal. Where's all the rest? Right, welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Bollocks your privacy. Everyone knows who I am. Right, anyway, an entered Mason I have been. Boaz and Jachin I have seen. A fellow I was sworn most rare. And know the ashlar, diamond and square. I know the master's part full well. And honest Morbin will you tell. Look it up. Who's Morbin? You know what I mean? Hey, this is part of their Masonic examination. Do you know what I mean? How they can tell who's who and who ain't. You know what I mean? The earliest record of the third degree actually being conferred comes not from a lodge, but from the minutes of a London society of gentlemen, which mean businessmen, yeah, the rich, who were lovers of music and architecture. The Philo Musicae et Architecturae Societies Apollini. Sorry if I didn't get that right, you know what I mean? But again, I'm just flicking through this book because, like I said, I'm just giving you little hints. You've got to understand how vast Freemasonry is. It's massive. Do you know what I mean? And just to get a bearing on it. I mean, look at the books I'm sitting here now, yeah, and they memorize all this stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's just mad. But anyway, here you go. And you think you're just going to go, yeah, you're going to come out of power? No, you ain't. You've got to fight for it. Do you know what I mean? How you do that peaceably, I don't know. Like I said, the only thing I can say is get your parish councils back, vote them all out of the council, vote them, and then you get control of your towns and your cities. You ain't going to do it marching on number 10. You've got no chance, you know what I mean? So you're wasting your time marching all around doing this, doing that. All it takes is for you to get together, be serious, and start voting these people out and make sure they're not connected with Freemasonry, and on forms, yeah, any form, it don't matter what it is, that they specifically say if they're Freemasons or not. And if you lie, you'll be getting a 5-year sentence, do you know what I mean? And oust them right out of power. Any Freemason, anything to do with any cult, regardless of what it is, out of power, because they're all working together and they're against you, the profane. Trust me. Anyway, I shouldn't be talking that. I'll be assassinated soon. You know what I mean? Right, there's one verse in the Old Testament that could give rise to the name Hiram Abif. And the correct Hebrew pronunciation would be Haram Aviv or Charam Aviv. Okay? Avi equals like my father, and Aviv is his father, if you didn't know that. All right, I only know it because I read it up here. but yeah, let me go. We keep going, but this is the thing, you see, they remember all this. Do you know what I mean? All of this. And are you going to remember it? You can't remember any of this, none of it. You know what I mean? Now here's the signs, look, right? The Masons examinations, right? Yeah. How many points are there in the fellowship, right? 6, right? Foot to foot, knee to knee, hand to hand, ear to ear, tongue to tongue, heart to heart. Yeah. Okay. Tongue to tongue. All right. And then you've got the one where it's foot to foot, knee to knee, and then you go hand over back, mouth to ear, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. There's different ones. Oh, we're coming into that. Oh, right. Yeah. Wait there. What are the signs that the grand mysteries laid open? Yeah, speaks of 6 spiritual signs. Okay, now what are these signs? The first is foot to foot, The second is knee to knee. The third is breast to breast. Yeah. See how it's changing? All right. The fourth is hand to back. Oh, yeah. The fifth is cheek to cheek. And the sixth is face to face. Do you see what I'm saying? And each one, if you don't know how to do these, right? Yeah. And you got no chance. Do you know what I mean? Right. Does not mention points of fellowship, right? But is described as raising of Noah, right? Again, because they get, remember, Moses, Noah, and all them were master masons, yeah? The earliest raising in a Masonic context, it lists 5 items, including the hand to back theme, and supported it, the corpse, setting a foot to foot, to knee to knee, breast to breast, cheek to cheek, and hand to back, yeah, because that's the fellowship of Freemasonry, yeah, on a master mason, and the password is Mahaboon, yeah, that's the password to that. Right, version of descriptions, close with the breast to each other, inside the others in the right arcal joint, small backbone. Oh yeah. Right, this is it. Look, standing close with their breasts to each other, the inside of others' right ankle joints, the master grip by their right hands and the top of their left hand fingers thrust, right? Close I don't know what that means, small of each other's back, yeah, till they whisper, right? And this is the thing with it. Oh, I don't know if I was cutting out there when it does that. But the point of the matter is when you hold a mason, when he puts his arm over him, right, yeah, and puts it on the back, what the signs he does on that person's back, right, denoting his rank, okay, is this, okay? He either does a circle, right, on the back, he draws it on the back like that of the person, yeah? So when his back, he's got his hand on his back like that, he draws a circle on the man's back, okay? If he's got a higher rank, he'll put a point within the circle, okay? So he'll draw a circle and then put a point within the circle. If he's a different rank, he'll draw a square on the person's back and then put a point in the middle. If he's a higher ranking, yeah? Now, depending, so you imagine it, right? Now, he can do the circle, the square, and the diamond, and that's 3 ranks straight there. If he puts a point within each, that's another 3. Do you see what I'm saying? All right, which is a total of 6. Okay, so you can get 6 ranks from this. There's different other signs, like you can do the level, like he'll draw a level on his back. Okay, do you know what I mean? They do all these signs, yeah. But before you do that, there'll be another, like a different thing. Like he'll tap his toe to his toe 3 times, and then draw whatever particular rank he is on that man's back, right? So you wouldn't even know it. Do you know what I mean? But the Freemason who's getting his toes tapped would know it. But you wouldn't notice it because, for instance, you'll be looking up anyway and you wouldn't see the toe tap. And then for him to grip him, you'll be just looking at the other back and the other guy who's giving the signal. Do you see what I mean? So you don't even see it. Do you see what I mean? But that's the different signals. Now, if I do toe to toe, right, which is, say, I tap his insole, yeah, 3 times. What do I do when I tap the outside? Yeah, is outsole, yeah, 3 times. That's another ranking. Do you see what I mean? And this is how they show their ranks within, anywhere of a situation when they're outside the lodge, to show their true brothers away from the profane, and segregate themselves away from from other people. Do you know what I mean? And that's all the time. Do you know what I mean? Again, this is their signs they use. Do you know what I mean? And when you see it, you just don't see it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's so like subtle. That's it, subtle. Look, see, look. Then he takes him by the wrist, applying his 4 fingers, separated by a claw fashion at the joint of the wrist, above the palms of the other hand, his thumb between the thumb and index finger of the candidate, and holding him by the claw grip. He orders him, yeah? And this is the thing. So he orders him his rank by giving that certain grip, yeah? I think this is the lion's paw, but I ain't too sure on that. Don't give me because obviously, yeah, that is the lion's paw, look, yeah? And you can go look that up. Look on the internet, lion's paw, or the eagle's claw, yeah? Eagle's claw, yeah? But these are all the different rankings, again, just by the hand grips, do you know what I mean? Let alone the passwords, do you know what I mean? That's mad, Yeah, look, here we go. Look, here's it again. Look, here it is. Look. answer, yeah. Pray will you explain him, right? This is the 3 distinct knocks, right? Has the following, right? Okay, again, their knocks, you've got to listen for their knocks. Again, you know, you can be sitting there, right? Yeah, and there's a guy, he'll tap like that, and you wouldn't even know that he's just done a Masonic signal to the dude whoever you're with, whether it's the table or whatever. But every Freemason within earshot of them taps knows he's a Freemason. And again, it all denotes different things. Look, hand in hand is that I will always put forth my hand to serve a brother as far as lies within my power. So he will help a fellow Mason, right, as far as it lies within his power, right? Foot the foot, that I will never be afraid to go foot out of my way to serve a brother. Okay, knee to knee is that when I kneel down to prayers, I ought never to forget to pray for my brother as well as myself. Now, where the profane in here? No profane being mentioned, remember? Breast to breast is to show I will keep my brother's secrets as my own. Okay? And that's the thing, they keep their secrets as their own. So never trust a Freemason, because he ain't going to tell you the truth about any other Freemason. He's going to lie. The fifth, the left hand supporting the back, which is the hand over the back. And like I said, he could do as he's doing that sign, yeah, he'll be giving it one of these with a point or whatever, okay. Supporting his back is that I will always be willing to support a brother as far as lies within my power. You know what I mean? We are fortunate in being able to compare these ancient practices with our modern procedures. They were certainly of operative origin, but their speculative symbolism arose in the 18th century. Yeah? And then obviously it goes into the lion's paw, which I sort of thing. Note that even here, there is no mention of the lion's paw or eagle's claw, although some modern rituals describe the grip in those terms. Neither of those titles is traceable in the earlier 18th century. You know what I mean? But this is the thing, you see. Each and every time, it doesn't matter what it is, they can distinguish themselves away from you. Do you know what I mean? And isolate themselves away from you. Why? Do you know what I mean? Because they know they're one particular army, one particular gang. That's why they do a particular, like any gang, do particular signs to recognise themselves. Do you know what I mean? I've shown you, I can't do that. Right, this is going to be a tricky one. That's like this sign here. Let's see if I can do this, right? Right there, my profane friend. Whee! Put it away then, maybe. Right, let's try that. Right there, I'll just try to brace it. That's it. Like this sign here, look. I'll get that's upside down, yeah? Wait there. I'm getting it wrong. No, that is the sign. I don't know if you can see that. Wait a minute, I'm going to go the other way. No, that is the right way. I don't know if you can see that. It's got to be that way, though, isn't it? I'm bloody... That there, right? Oh... How do I do this? Wait a minute, let me think. How do I do this? Wait a minute there, my profane friends. I'm trying to figure this out. Right, so if that's the camera. Oh, I just laying it there then, didn't I? Ready? Hopefully you can get to see this. If not, I'll do a video separate on it, okay? Right, here we go. Wait there, let me lean it there. Right, that is a gang sign. Okay, that is a gang sign. Yeah, now if you follow the lines, okay, I hope you're seeing this. If you follow the lines, you can clearly see the square and compass. Yeah, okay, this is your compass, and this line here is your square. So there's your square and compass. You see what I mean? And then if I put my eye in here, you've got the all-seeing eye. Do you see what I mean? But that's the ranks, and that goes from there up to there, and there's your square and compass. You see what I mean? And they also do signs like this. Do you see what I mean? Hand signs like that, like you're grabbing a thumb or a oh, what's that bloody called? The bloody hawk. You know what I mean? Upside down hawk. You know, try it. You know what I mean? They do all these little signs, but if you don't know about it, then you don't. You know, you ain't getting anywhere. Did you see that? You're holding the phone the wrong way up. Is it the wrong way up? Is it? Oh my god. Did you see the sign though? Oh, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I hope you did anyway. If not, that is in my other videos anyway. But again, look, you've got different, yeah. You've got the ancients, right, which is the real old bloodlines, yeah, the royal blood prince lines, and then you've got the moderns, yeah, like the modern ones that they've, you know, enrolled and all that. But I didn't get much of it. But this is why they start all their fighting. Do you know what I mean? And they get, you know, get to fight with each other. Obviously, a lot of it's, you know. Oh, it just made me laugh. But anyway, look, you got three distinct knocks again, right? You got Knox J, Jachin and Boaz, right? And you got Hiram and Mahabon, yeah? And say that he was buried, yeah, in the Sanctum Sanctorum, yeah? Is a remarkable that this absurd blunder has never rectified, even in the much used Jachin and Boaz. Only one text, Solomon, in all his glory itself, a translation from the French text, 1751, omits the Sanctum Sanctorum. Look that up, by the way. Yeah, Freemason Sanctum Sanctorum. And that Hiram, a Biff, was buried with magnificent obsequies and great funeral pomp. You know what I mean? But this is the thing, you see, this is, you know, how are you going to, just what I've just read there and give you, yeah, how are you going to take this away from Freemasonry? You ain't, you know what I mean? You can't, do you know what I mean? Because their history, where's your history? You've got no history. It's all Masonic history, whether it's, what's his name, that geezer who put his hand in his thing, he only had one arm, didn't he? Nelson, whether it's Nelson and the other dude, he was the same as well. You know, Wellington and Napoleon, yeah? All Freemason Masonic wars. Do you see what I mean? You look at all the generals in the wars in the Norfolk South in America, all Freemasons. Do you see what I mean? You know, that's why the presidents all Freemasons. Do you see what I mean? Or Demole, whatever you want to call it. That's the same system, but they're all Freemasons anyway. You know, another classic one. What is their, you know, their bloody, what's his name? The old KKK dude. What was his name? Bloody Albert Pike. Do you know what I mean? They're all Freemasons. Do you see what I mean? Because they're the warmongers. They're the ones that send us to war. And when they want to send us to war, what do? They put a fax through or whatever, you know, back in the day it used to be horsemen or whatever, it didn't matter. The point of the matter is that the news that we're going to war would come from all the dignitaries and the higher uppers, like the Lord Mayor and all of them bollocks. Do you know what I mean? They go, oh, come on, rally to war. And then all the, you know, the Freemasons go, oh, you're going to war? Yeah, well done, mate. And that'd be praise you. And you go to war, you'd fight more profane men that had been dragged into the war for the Freemasons. And that's all it was. Do you know what I mean? We never got nothing. They get all the gold, the oil and everything else and the riches. We get nothing. But anyway, that's another story, my profane friends. I think I've covered this one a bit. Yeah, look, we've got a bit of writing in this. Let me see what it says. Might be a secret. See, look here, look here. This is what Hiram stands for. Look. Jesus of the, I can't say the words because they always stop the thing. You know exactly what I'm saying. Jesus of the greatest king of the world. Yeah. Eshu Idorium Rex Altimus Amundi, and that's what Hiram stands for. Look, and they just give it, that's them, give it to you, and that's not from me. This is where I get a lot of my information from, you know, their own books, you know, but this is what that stands for. Hiram, look, yeah, Jesus of the greatest king of the world. Eshu, that's what H mean. Idorium, the I, Rex for Ireland, Altissimus for the A, and Mundi for the M, yeah? Hiram Biff, you know what I mean? And this is out of their own book, do you know what I mean? It's nothing to do with me. I haven't, you know, this is how I get my information, because they like type, you know, writing, you know, their little things in the brackets, do you know what I mean? But that's the third degree matters, okay? The Newcastle, I bet you then they're going to get lashed by about 40 lodgers. They'll get attacked, these will, and get fined, I reckon, just for getting that information out. Oh, baby. Now, this is the book, what I said, and I'm sure it is. This is the Bristol working, yeah? 3 craft ceremonies plus the installation, yeah? And this is where they open the lodge and all that. These are knocks, particular knocks, yeah? This is what's in there. Yeah, first, second, and third. See, every lodge they open and then they close it. Do you know what I mean? Every time. It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, what a old rubbish. Then you've got your obligations. Look, we can have a look at a few of them if you want. We've got secrets. You know what I mean? In 12, 28, and 45, and the working tools of each level as well. Yeah. So let's go to the secrets first. Number 12. Look. Oh yeah, that's it for each one. I see. Yeah. So that would be here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there you go. Sorry. Secrets of the first degree. Look. Yeah. All right. It consists of a sign, a token, and a word. Okay. And the sign is given by placing your left hand thus, right, and holding the right hand over it thus, and the thumb extended in the form of a square. It was in this position, you will remember, that you took the solemn obligation of an entered apprentice mason, your left hand supporting the volume of sacred law, yeah, which is that, oh yeah, I can't show you, compasses and square, and your right hand placed thereon. You will now drop your left hand to the side and bring your right hand with the thumb still extended to the left of your right pelvis, yeah, because that's what that means. Look, to the left of the right pelvis, you will draw it smartly across your and let it fall to your side, yeah, that's your throat. Oh, wait a minute, your wait there, to the left, extend it to the left of your windpipe. Sorry, yeah, sorry, like I said, I get so right, to the left of your windpipe. Sorry, yeah, I'm getting the other. See, I read these all day long and I get the rituals wrong sometimes, so you'll have to just bear with me. Yeah, I ain't done these for a while. So to the left of your windpipe, you'll draw it smartly across your throat and let it fall to your side. Yeah, this is the penal sign, alludes to the penalties formerly included in the obligation, wherein you would have sworn that you would rather have your throat cut right across than reveal the secrets with which you are about to be entrusted. You see what I mean? And that's how it goes. And then again with these, you'll have to work. Like I said, I'm going to screenshot it, but I can't keep going because I forget the things anyway. But right, the sign that demands a grip or a token, which is given by, yeah, and then like you've got to work out right what these mean, yeah. Okay, I'll say that's the right hand. Look, right hand, yeah. See? Always with the due card to prevent any undisqualified person from observing that you are giving any other than the OHS. Yeah. So this is what I mean. No other person from observing that you see, they never do it when someone's looking, but they'll do it secretly to each other. Do you know what I mean? You can work it out yourself. Just think about it. You know what I mean? You just got to think of knuckles, right? Fingers, thumbs, yeah, knees, you know, which is a K, obviously, and things like that. Do you know what I mean? That's all that is. You see that little bit? See? And this is this. Pass it, masters, to ensure the count is read. If you are asked for this word, you must say, at my initiation, I was taught to be cautious. But with you, I'll either letter it or half for it, right? You will always get your questionnaire to begin, right? So whoever's ever question you, you have to get them to begin it, right? Which is a Boaz, yeah? They never say it. That's always halved or spelt, yeah? And they spell it in Boaz, in Boaz. It's A, starts with an A, yeah? Aboaz, right? Because that's where they trick you, the profane, to see that you're not a Freemason. You see what I mean? Okay. So, how can I explain it? So when they do a secret phase to someone, they say, can you tie a bow? See, ABO, can you tie a bow? Yeah. And then the other man replies, as well as any man can, as a Boaz, you see. So Boaz, when they say, can you spell Boaz, they never, it's the first letter is Aboaz. Do you see what I mean? And that's how they get you. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I must know the word is Boaz. It was the name of the left-handed pillar of the entrance to see Jachin and Boaz, you see. Jerusalem, and also the name of the great grandfather of David, a prince and ruler of Israel. It means in its strength. Past matter gives care. If you ask for this word, you must say, at my initiation I was taught to be cautious, but you will, I will let it or half it, but you must always get the questioner to begin, yeah? And then obviously that's how it goes on and on and on. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously, look, see, so you've got to know the step, okay? And then the step demands a sign, right? And then the sign needs a penal sign, yeah? You'll give me that sign, you'll give me that grip, and you will give me that word, which is the password, you see what I mean? Which is a Boaz, yeah? Blah, blah, blah. But there's all different ones, do you know what I mean? Then they go, this is where he goes on, and it goes, and then as you go up the degrees, there's more and more and more, do you know what I mean? Again, look, they've knocked some of these out, look, see? Having that, my breast torn outlet. So this one is, see, they took that outlet, see, by having my breast torn out. I can't see if that's an M. My heart something dumped out, and I can't remember it now, at the high tide or something, I don't know, but that's what that is. Or is it burnt in the turn or something like that? But that's my breast torn out, my heart thrown to the buzzards or something, I don't know, I can't remember, there's so bloody many of them. But the you know, the point of the matter is, this is how they recognize each other, and you've got to know all of this, because if you don't know all of this, you ain't getting anywhere, do you know what I mean? And I don't learn it anymore. I just want to know the signs of where they look at, you know, where they do the, you know, the drilling, when they meet each other on the outside, do you know what I mean? Look, worshipful master, your commands shall be obeyed. They'll be obeyed because I'm a joining the army. Do you see what I mean? Madness, isn't it? Oh, the bloody coffee's gone. Let's have a peanut instead. Right. Yeah, again, look, master, in obedience to your commands, we return with all speed to the place marked by the acacia. You know what I mean? Worship around your commands will be obeyed. And this is the thing, they will be obeyed. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're right in the shit, you know what I mean? Like any other army, you're punished, and they know that. You know what I mean? They're scared as well. Right, now, look, inner guard, look. So you've got when the lodge is having a satanic ritual, you know, a satanic ritual, you've got the entered apprentices on guard all about the place, right? All out on the outside of the lodge. Then you've got, say, the fellow crafts will be on the land of the lodge, right? You know, on the outside still, yeah. And then you'll have the internal, like on the doors, and the internal guards will be master masons, yeah. And they'll be protecting the downside, but they still won't be in the lodge room. Do you see what I mean? If you really want to get into that, you ain't getting into it unless you give the right signs, ranks, and God knows what. But this is how they, you know, this is how they get away with it all the time, you know, where they talk about murder, drug dealing, and all the rest of it, because they've got so much security surrounding the lodge, you ain't getting anywhere in it to hear anything anyway. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing about it. And again, look, here's the grips and the tokens called the Master Masons, or Lion's Grip, which is what we just talked about in that other book of Strength. It is the first of 5 points of fellowship, right? Which is the hand to hand. Oh no, wait a minute, wait there. This is foot to foot, knee to knee, breast to breast, and hand over back. Foot to foot, hand to hand, foot to foot, knee to knee, breast to breast, and hand over back. Yeah, that's it. But you know, again, this is if you don't know it, again, this has changed here. Let's see. Look, this is the sign of distress, right? When you put your hands up, the international one is where you move the hands into a pyramid above your head, where your two fingertips catch. But here, look, it's help to the widow's son. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, they change it all the time in these books. Do you know what I mean? And again, they close the lodge, and it goes on and on and on. I didn't want to get too much into that because I've done it all before, you know. And like I said, it's all on my forum anyway. If you want to see it, so it's not like it's a secret. Again, look, this is the OMS, and I can't remember what it is. Aishua ritual. Yeah, I'll mark the page on here. I'll just give you a couple of, because a lot of this goes too deep even for me, mate. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the hell? This is it. I'm going to let you guys do the reading on this, because that says rotate. I don't know if it stops the video when it says rotate, because I can't read some of this. I'm like, you know what I'm like, right? Notes on the divine name Yeshua. More than likely, some of you recognise this, but I don't. Oid he shin vo he. I suppose that's how you actually pronounce that. Okay. The following notes concern a very ancient divine name called at times the pentagrammic name. You're getting into the pentagram now, look, which is well known to the Kabbalists, especially Christian Kabbalists, as well as to the doctors of the original Christian church. The letter Shin, right? Hebrew Kabbalists knew this letter Shin as one of three mother letters, with Aleph and Mem, okay? And it signifies the fire. St. Jerome, in his mystic interpretation of the alphabet, defined this letter Shin as a symbol of the vivifying word. Much later, Pappus tells us that this letter Shin, inverted in the flamboyant star, the pentagram, yeah, with its point up, represents to the Rosicrucians initiate the incarnation of the divine word in the human nature. Right. I better just tell me you can see that. Can you? I'm saying rotate the device. I'm trying to. There you go. Is that better? Yeah, there you go. Now, Adoni here, as you know, is already, I've shown you in a ritual book already, yeah, in their books. I've just noticed that. Well, hopefully you got to read that. Hold on, mate. All right, I'm getting there, mate. Like I said, I'm not a professional cameraman here, my profane friends. Right. Now, shortly after Agrippa, Henrik Krunef, in his famous work, Amphitheatre of Eternal Wisdom, Hanu, that's Hanau, 1609, placed a divine name of 5 letters in the centre of the 5th plate, representing Christ on the cross, and on the 12th and the last plate, called the Pentacle of Corinth. Right, I ain't got a clue what any of this is about, really. See, people who know about the Kabbalah and all that are a bit more thingy, do you know what I mean? Like here, look, Islam reversed the Lord Jesus, and these are Freemasonry points, by the way. Notice they're in a pyramid, and there's 3, okay? That's part of Masonic, but we know that anyway. As the prophet Sidna Issa. And the Quran tells us that there are only 2 beings, Jesus and his mother, whom the wings of Satan have not touched at all. Okay. Now, I don't know, again, I don't know much about this. Like I said, you guys know more about it, you know. I am the bread and I am the life. I came to put the fire into the bosom of things. Do you know what I mean? You'll know more about that than I do. Anyway, an angel said to Mary, God announces to you his word. His name shall be Jesus, the Messiah, son of Mary, great in his world as well as in the other, and a confidant God, and a confidant of God. Quran, whatever, 40. Raise And God said to Jesus, I shall send death unto thee, and shall raise thee to me. Thou shalt be separated from the infidels, and those who follow thee shall be raised above the infidels until the day of judgment. Okay. Modern Hinduism, again, it's going way above my head, all this stuff, so I'm not even gonna go into too much of this, you know what I mean? Again, this is going into the ritual stuff, yeah. So I'm going to do a bit of this. Here, the tour, which is the triple tours and all that, traced during the orisons, whatever that means. Right, the sign plus, or rather the X, has been the cursive Hebrew tour used well before and after the beginning of our era. See Jean. I'll let you see that. Jean Danielus, Les Symbols Cretinine Primitifs, whatever that means. Paris, 1961, whatever that means. It was the sign of the elect. The Old Testament, even before it was mentioned in the Revelations of St. John, the Apocalypse, and also well prior to its... quick. Right there, my profane friends. Like I said, I'm not a professional at this at all. So you've got to put up with all my little bits and pieces like 2 seconds while I get self-sorted. Right, there we go. Right, now, adoption by Christian, a sign recalling the passion, the passion of Christ. For example, we read in Ezekiel that it was supposed to have been traced upon the foreheads of the elect by the angel Yahweh. The ancient Egyptians and the Lucianians mysteries and those of the Dionysus and Gnostic all had known and used this tour for the same reason as ancient Israel. Okay, at the moment of his consecration. Lastly, it is a sign of salvation for Christians of all denominations, a sign which makes the demons flee and disperse, and it is a reminder of the triumph of Christ over death. During the first centuries, the Christians in North Africa used to have it painted and tattooed on their forehead. It was also a short version of the divine pentagram, and the medieval rabbis endeavoured to visualize it, flamboyant upon their foreheads in the sort of interior vision when thrown into the flames of the stakes. God knows what that means. The orator will restrict himself to trace it upon his forehead each time with his right thumb. He could as well, according to another formula, trace it in front of himself with the flame of the ordinary candle, which it represented in this ritual, either moving the candle upwards or downwards along the vertical line of this letter, tour. Actually, it consists of tracing in space a figure 4 proper or 4 inverted. Martinism, a tradition known well the importance of the glyph, the 4 proper symbolizes resurrection, and the 4 inverted incarnations. Sorry. I'll go across there slowly so you can read that as your leisures, you know what I mean? Because I ain't got a bloody clue that went. As again, it's above my head. Again, this is like, wow, you know what I mean? Use the above form in place of the word alb, Cordelia, robe by the word sandals. Oh my God. I don't get it. Right. Right. I'll just try to read some of that. That's bloody nightmare. Right. O Lord, my power is thy name. Thou who hast made heaven and earth, grant, O Lord, my prayer, and may my cry ascend to thee. Peace be with thee and with thy spirit. And again, it's a load of like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to, I was only going to get a peek at this. I've gone through this book a bit more than I have. But again, it's all above my pay grade, this stuff. I don't really study this stuff, do you know what I mean? I'm more into like keeping the town and the city out of the power of the Freemasons. That's what I'm all about, you know what I mean? Now, why did I mark this page? There'll be a reason for that. Why? Wait there. Oh yeah, these are different prayers that they're doing for different people, I think. Yeah, wait there. Fallen spirits of the bosom of the mineral kingdom. He paid to thee the receipt of all in this way, spirit of Canaan. I think it was it, or he prayed to base the fallen spirits, the bosom of the vegetable kingdom, the mineral kingdom. Oh yeah, the entire human race. Yeah, the orator meditates for a moment and then prays for the entire human race. Almighty and eternal God, thou who hast used thine own Son as a cornerstone, again Freemasonry, to bring together the, I won't say it because I always get bring together the yeah, as if linking two walls rising from two opposing foundations, and has thus reunited these two opposing flocks under one shepherd. Okay, so you imagine them two, you know, blah blah whatever. Right, the eternal repairer, O Lord, knowing that one day the whole humanity shall render thee its pious tributes in thy holy city of above. Do so that thy creatures may in their near future finally live united by the unbreakable ties of charity. Never permit, O Lord of mercy, the discord of minds and perversity of hearts separate those who at the beginning were only one family under the authority of one Father. New World Order again, I suppose. So that finding themselves one day in the same common celestial temple, as they may all dwell there eternally under thy holy protection. By Yeshua our Lord. Amen. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, look. Operator meditates while and then prays for the heads of leaders of non-Christian nations. O mighty and eternal God, thou who holdest in thy hands all power and authority over all countries of the earth, we humbly implore thy holy name, deign, O Lord of mercy, to inspire the heads of and leaders of the non-Christian nations still in want of the actual grace of conversion to thy holy law and to the worship of thine divine Son, our Lord Christ, with the favour of peaceful behaviour, dignified, wise and enlightened, charitable and tolerant, and may the angel unto whom thou hast entrusted the guidance of each of these nations or countries maintain them always on the path of peace, harmony and tolerance, and in respect of thy faithful elect. God knows what's going on in this, you know what I mean? Like I said, some of you guys, you know, I know like a bit more savvy with this stuff than I am, do you know what I mean? But like I said, if you want to, you know, you're interested in it, it will be scanned up, you know what I mean? You know, so like, you know, they're making signs and all this sort of stuff on their foreheads. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't get it. It's a bit above my pay grade, that one. You know what I mean? My profane friends. But anyway, that's that one done. Now we go on to some more interesting stuff now. Now, before, this is one of my favourite ones to show, yeah? This is always, you know, one of my favourites, the District Deputy Grand Master's Handbook. And in there you can see him dealing with every type of day-to-day responsibilities and, you know, all the different bits and pieces they do, yeah, like assistant lodges and all that. This is one army, do you know what I mean? He's paid to do this. But this is the most interesting piece I always find, yeah? The operation and controls of our public schools, and you're going to see this in a lot of these some of these things coming up in a minute, right? Because we've got the lot, all the, you know, it's the same system of everyone. It don't matter, right? So imagine that the operation and the control of our public schools has been delegated to local school boards and officials by the citizens of a given community. You see what I mean? And that means That's the profane, and they don't want the profane doing that because they want the control. Yeah, because you control the kids, you control how they think and how smart they're going to be as they grow up, and they don't want too smarter kids. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, if we are to maintain, yeah, the control and operation of our schools, because they own your schools, then we must be informed concerning their needs and local problems. If we fail as citizens to support our local schools locally, then someone else will do it. And we don't want anyone else doing it because we need to dumb the kids down. Do you know what I mean? We don't want them getting too smart. Anyway, therefore, my eternal request is that you take active part in this 33rd annual observance of Public Schools Week in your community, and in so do visits the school. And that's basically him giving orders to the, to the old, Master Masons. You better get your shits together and get around them schools because we need to get the control back in our. And there it is. Look, there's the orders. This is what they do. Look, the proclamation. You know what I mean? And they're talking about your schools. You know what I mean? Where your children are going, and this is what they do. They just hand it out as the notes. And this Deputy Grand Master makes sure that everyone follows the Worshipful Master's orders. Do you know what I mean? And that's on every different level you can think of. Do you know what I mean? Look. Oh, looking again. Look, newspaper items, other public print. You see what I mean? They're all in all of it. Do you know what I mean? They're in everything. To control it. Control. That's all you'll ever see. To control. Do you know what I mean? That's what they do. They control everything. Every aspect of your life, these people control. Again, here's another booklet. Officer's Handbooklet. And they got committees on committees, these people. This is written in 6th of December. If you notice, look at the 666, look. As above, so below. 1969, look. Approved by the Grand Lodge of Trustees. Do you know what I mean? And again, it all goes in. That's just unreal, isn't it? Look. You know what I mean? But anyway, it's the basics. But here it is, look. All lodge programs, look. You see? Grand Lodge, Grand Master. And then it goes down to the little, right to and then just to the lodge members. And this is how it do, So so whoever owns a country, yeah, gives it to the Grand Lodge, yeah, and then the Grand Lodge gives it to all the Grand Masters in every town and city. You see what I mean? It just passes down, and that's it. This is the orders, same as like Hitler's army when they received their orders. They go, yeah, sir, that's yours. Make sure my orders are thingy at the end. Look, watch this. Look, it's signed, sealed, and delivered. Do you know what I mean? Oh, this one's not signed, sealed, and delivered, but we will see what's in there, won't we? Oh, my profane friends, the Worshipful Master. Look, you see. Elected to the highest office and received the greatest honour the members of your lodge can bestow upon you or upon any member of the lodge that has qualified himself by having served as a warden, as provided by section 203 of the Masonic Code of Oregon. You know what I mean? Like I said, they're a law unto themselves. Do you know what I mean? A law unto themselves. Right, look here, look. The Westmark rules and governs, yeah, his lodge. He rules, the Worshipful Master rules and governs his lodge in every town and city, every state, every county around the world, or should I say across the world. Do you know what I mean? It is the responsibility of the Worshipful Master to govern the officers, because they are part of the army. Army has officers, yeah, or gang members have officers, whatever way you want to look at it. Delegate the conferring of degrees and ritualistic work without relinquishing responsibility. Appoint appointive officers, yeah. Appoint mandatory committees, appoint special committees. You see what I mean? And they've got special committees on everything. It don't matter if they want to investigate someone, they'll get a special committee together to investigate you, and all they will do is follow you, try and get access to your medical doctors, your banks, and everything what they can gain access to, they will gain access to it, and they will have a meeting on you. Do you know what I mean? And however it goes like that, you know, and it goes anyway. Let's go. Right, let's go. Let's keep going. Wait a minute. All right, now why have I come here? See, now I've done this. There's the bylaws. Look, they've got their own laws. Right, within every lodge, they have their own laws. If they don't, they're going to get taken to court. Do you know what I mean? Okay. They've got their own laws, look, and legislations. Right, by legislation, yeah, accepting systems of rules and regulations pertaining to a given subject. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, part 1 of this, yeah, is landmarks of Freemasonry, the powers of a Grand Lodge, membership, voting Grand Lodge officers and committees, the power of a Grand Master, the time and date of opening and closing the Grand Lodge. Now remember, a Grand Lodge is completely different to a Masonic Lodge or a Provisional Lodge or a Dominion Lodge. Do you know what I mean? They've got all these different lodges. Remember, this is a lot higher. These people only meet like once a year or something like that, yeah, because there's a Grand Lodge, yeah, but they delegate down to, you know, the other lodges. You know, look, the Masonic service bureaus, you know, this is educational assistance, you know what I mean? The whole, everything that's a separate world from you. They've got their own education system, they've got their own laws, their own police, they've got everything. Do you see what I mean? They're a government, yeah, just the same as any other country around the world. But these people do it. They're the government for the government, in the government of the governments of the governments of the world, if you get what I mean, yeah? But we're not, we get, I cannot explain it. You got 5 people, right? Yeah, 4 are Masons, right? They're going to tell this profane person how to do it, and they're going to keep that profane person not in the know that he's the slave, okay? But these people here, yeah, they're a nation and a law unto themselves, yeah, and they're going to have this person here who lives within amongst this, yeah, saying you got to obey this law, but he's doing what he's being directed by these 3. Do you see what I mean? So he keeps this person, and he thinks he's living a separate life, but he isn't. He's under the command of these 3 Freemasons here. Do you know what I mean? But he thinks he's profane alongside him, and he's not. Do you know what I mean? He's being ruled by Freemasonry, and he don't realise it. This is why I say when a policeman turns up, that's a Freemason. Do you know what I mean? Like the Romans, you know, when the Romans used to turn up, they just changed their attitude and their name. You know, they're just not that no more. They just, you know, they just go behind their, you know, anyone, you know, a judge sit on the bench there. He's not got his you know, he hasn't got his Freemason thingy. He's doing it behind the scenes. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter what it is. He's just, you know, he's just got it under his garments. You know, he's not coming out as a proper person of what he runs and what he rules. Officers of constitution lodges and their duties. You see what I mean? There's all these different lodges. Do you see what I mean? And I can go through them again. You know, look. Oh, it's upside down. How wonderful that was. But look, all these different lodges, look. You see, thousands of them. Do you know what I mean? These are not jokes. These are true, you know. And the amount of men, look, colonel, look. See, they're an army, look. Colonel. Oh, see if I can get it there, look. Out of focus. Why won't it focus in? Is it because I'm over here? Let's try that. Yeah, Lieutenant Commander, look. Lieutenant Colonel, look. You see? Captain. I don't know if you can see that. It's like going out of focus. I don't think that likes the writing. So it's really small. You know what I mean? But you ain't got these colonels, captains, and major generals, Sir Ralph. Do you know what I mean? You know, they're not called that for nothing. Do you know what I mean? They're there because it's an army. You know, 32 degree Masons and 33 degree Masons. Do you know what I mean? Treasurers and recorders and all that. Look, see, this is lodges. Look, these are members. These are the actual members. These ones, sorry, not lodges. This is the list of the members. Look, you don't think that's an army? Thousands of men. These are the chapters. Look, oh, sorry. These are the chapters. Look, and the different lodges. Look how many lodges there are. Do you know what I mean? And again, I'm going to do the old favourite in a minute because I do like doing that. You know me. I'm not too profane. You know what I mean? Chapters are held at. This is where chapters are held at. Doncaster, know what I mean? All these, look, Mandeville, Newcastle, you know what I mean? Muddlesborough, they're in a town or a city where these ain't being, where these ain't being, where they're into meeting, It doesn't like the writing here, so I was thinking, I'm sorry about that, yeah. Look, list of Rose Croix chapters. These are Rose Croix chapters, which are completely different. Look, see all that. Look, you think that's all for nothing? They're printing all this up. Look, 33 degree. Look, you see all these people. Look, see these are all the men. Look, see Suffolk and Cambridge. Look, see Suffolk and Cambridge, Surrey. You name it. You name a county. Look, there's not one county that they in. There's nowhere. It's Cheshire, Derbyshire, Devonshire, Cornwall. See what I mean? But you got to think about it, yeah. That line, that red line there in that book here, right, was in 1961, yeah. And by the time they've got to 1984, that red line has now turned into this. So look at the size of that compared to that. See what I mean? And that's how that's grown. That's how big this army's gone. And these are the chapters, look, you see? You know what I mean? Deputy Grand Masters. Oh, see that? Grand Officers, Royal Arch. See, this is the Royal Arch. Grand Officers, yeah? So they've gone from that size. In 1961, they were this size. I've done it before, so I don't need to do it again. You can look at my videos. But they've now expanded that little page. Them pages there have now expanded to that. Yeah, which is the Royal Arch, look. Yeah. See? So you look how big that army's increased in how many years? This was in 1984. So 60, so in 24 years, 23 years, that book has expanded to this. 23 years. That's how, so if it's now 84, so 90, 2000, we're now what? So it's another 20 years. That's got to be double the size of that book, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? If they've carried on, so this army in 40 years has increased twofold of this book. Do you see what I mean? That's what you're up against, and I don't think people understand. Anyway, my profound friends. Right, now how to amend the outline. Right, let's keep going, shall we? Unmasonic conduct. Unmasonic conduct. But look, that's what I mean. Look, appeals of a verdict. Look, see. So if they employ you, a profane person, over another Mason, yeah, what they do, yeah, is take the other person to court, and they get fined or punished, get his bum lashed and things like that. This is why they won't take on profane people, because they're not brothers. Do you see what I mean? And they keep you poor on purpose. Do you know what I mean? They don't want you getting anything. Nothing. You know what I mean? So you're always doing the menial works, Oh, you can stack shelves all day in Tesco's. You can go work for Bernard Matthews all day long, Bernard Matthews, millions of pounds. Coleman's Mustard, millions of pounds. Cadbury's, all of that. Bird's Eye, do you know what I mean? Hundreds of millions of pounds and people are earning. And what do you get? £1,000 a month? Even if you're getting £2,000 a month, which you fucking ain't. Yeah, you're doing 12 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 20-hour breaks, 20-minute breaks every hour, or whatever the fuck it is. You're fucking slaves, mate. Slaves. Sorry, I'm swearing. You know what I mean? It just makes me sick, these people. But these are the people running that. You know what I mean? Right, anyway, this is the investigating committee, yeah? So let's say they've got a problem with a profane person like me, yeah? They put an investigation committee on you. Yeah, and then they go into everything, yeah, and I mean everything. Now, if you're trying to join Freemasonry, right, this investigation committee is going to know everyone that you're dealing with. Do you know what I mean? They're going to look you up. Yeah, they're going to see who you associate with, who you don't associate with. Do you know what I mean? And they only let people through who they want. And you tell me that Savile got into that thingy for nothing, you're wrong. Do you know what I mean? He got in because he was a high-ranking Freemason. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like the rest of them. You know what I mean? But anyway, it's another story. Anyway, and all they do is put their own people in place. It doesn't matter if he's competent to do the job or not. As long as he's a Freemason and working for the Brotherhood, they'll let him go in. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, being appointed a member of this committee places a great responsibility upon one, assigned to that duty. Upon the committee's favourable report, after a thorough investigation into the moral, physical and financial qualifications, the petitioner is accepted or rejected by a vote of the lodge. Having accepted the assignment, the committee members must be conscientious in the discharge of its duty, otherwise he has proven himself unworthy of the trust shown by the worshipful master. Right? Now, I went there, not accept the report is complete. The petitioner asked the right to know all about him before giving him the benefit of the ballot. Would you be willing to invite him into your home or introduce him to your wife and daughters? Would you introduce him to the church members, personal and business friends and associates? Could you enjoy an evening of relaxation with him? Is there any possibility of him or his wife or children becoming a charge on the lodge? Do you see what I mean? Has he made sufficient arrangements through life insurance or trust funds to avoid this happening? What is the neighbour's opinion of him? See what I mean? So they question your neighbours. You know what I mean? They question everyone, trust me, and his family. Have you talked to them and obtained this information personally? What about his business ethics, his business association information, associates and fellow workers? Is he a member of the church? Do his children attend Sunday school regularly? See what I mean? So they investigate you like you would not believe. They, like I said, they got records to your, you know, to your criminality, you know, and they've still got criminals in the lodge here, do you know what I mean? And they're still members and they're Freemasons. So where they say, oh, you're kicked out and banned if you're a fucking criminal, is a load of shit, because they know they can't kick anyone out, because if they kick people out, they'd be going there and speaking the shit, you know what I mean? So it's all developed on blackmail anyway. So do not make an investigation by telephone. Visit the references given in person and explain the reason for your visit. You know what I mean? But this is what they do, you know. But they know everything, you know, from the day you're born. They know your family. Do you know what I mean? Because they've been in there looking at your family from the day, because of the history of what they've got. They've been in that lodge hundreds of years, and you don't think they've been watching you? Of course they do. They watch everyone who's profane. Do you know what I mean? The only people they're not watching is the people who are in with them. But here's their pyramids. You know, they're pyramid. It's always a pyramid, isn't it? You see the square, look, the square and the pyramid. That's all it is, yeah. And this is the way it goes up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Pyramid. But that's what it. You know, like I said, they want everything. Do you know what I mean? You know, operating budgets, you know what I mean? And money, it's all it is, money. Look, fees and dues, do you know what I mean? Investments and assessments, do you know what I mean? You think all this is for nothing. It's all for the good of the Freemasons, you know what I mean? And they're all in on it together, you know, all of this. Look. You've got the ancient landmarks, yeah? Then you've got the Grand Lodges, and then you've got the Grand Masters. You know what I mean? Deputy Grand Masters, which is that book I just showed you. Then you got Lodge by Worshipful Master, you see, look. Then you got the officers, you see. And this is the whole, how it all works, look, you see. The individual and the obligations, blah, 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 and it goes up, you know. This is how they work it, you know what I mean? And they're doing it for each other every decade and every century. If you're profane, you're not getting nothing of this. They've got it so sewn tight that you can't get nothing. Do you know what I mean? And you never will. Even your complaints are nothing. Do you know what I mean? You can't complain about anything. You know what I mean? No, mate. Right. Oh, yeah, even got donors, look. And their own blood banks, believe it or not. Right. Oh yeah, I've been at this hour, haven't I? What's the bloody time? I've been here 2 hours on this video. I'm going to stop it and then I'm going to do a part 2. I'll finish on this book here and then I'll get on to part 2, which is that lot over there, and some of this underneath, like that. Right, here we go with the public schools again. Look, see? Why are they interested in your public schools? 3 or more. It's always 3 or more. Look, 3 committee members. Do you see what I mean? Look. With regard to knowledge of school activities, it is preferable that the chairman is not a professional educator. The committee should discuss with the district deputy of the Grand Master and the district public schools chairman the type of meetings to be held at the lodge or to the district level for the recognition of the public school teachers. Do you see what I mean? Look, the public school week honouring outstanding students. Do you see what I mean? And that's your public schools. They're all over it. Organisation of visits by the lodge members and families to the public schools during education and public school week. Do you know what I mean? Mad, innit? Eh? All over your schools and your education system. You know, you go and ask any profane person about the education or who's on the board or any of that. No one knows. The Freemasons know, because they're all bloody Freemasons. They know exactly who's on the bloody thingy. Look at that. You've got illness and distress committee. Look, so if someone get ill, they help them, you know, and they get bloody up front. Do you know what I mean? Of deceased master masons, look, the widows, you know what I mean? They all get help. Look, don't matter. Delinquent dues, I don't know what that is. Most Freemasons, from what I can gather, are delinquent. They join an army and a gang of corrupt people. What's the point of that? I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Right there, me fiddling again. I think it's the last. You know, look, civic and community. Do you know what I mean? See, they're in everything. It don't matter. Look, hospitality, publicity, telephone, transportation. So I mean, everything, entertainment. Do you know what I mean? Crazy how they get away with it. It really is, honestly. Youth groups, look, Demole and others, look. Committee should consist of 3 or more qualified and interested members. This committee should contact the advisory of Demole, Job's Daughters and Rainbow Girls, having them extend invitations to the lodge members to visit and witness their degree work. The organisations should also be invited to exemplify their work in the lodge room. Careful study will approve the youth organisation needs encouragement rather than financial assistance. Have them participate in actively at some of the open meetings, Flag Day, Constitution Day, Salute to Oregon, Veterans Day, ushers for church services, etc., etc. You see what I mean? So they're in your church as well. This is the thing. But these here, these are born into it, yeah. The Demoles, the Job's Daughter, the Rainbow Girls, they're all born into it. Do you see what I mean? They're not gonna go up to your son and your young daughter and go, do you want to join free? No, these people are born into it, right? And these are the next ones. You know, like I said, it's just you're either going through the left door or you're going through the right door. Do you know what I mean? And if these all come up right, they'll all go in the right door. Do you know what I mean? But anyone else, you know, the ones they allow in that are a ring of protection, that are stupid enough to go, that's not going on in our lodge. We're good people. We do a lot of charity work. You know what I mean? Like Jimmy Savile, he did a lot of charity work, and look what he ended up with. This is what they do. You see what I mean? But these people, these youngsters, yeah, they're the ones that are the next generation of wrong-uns. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what they're going to be brought up on, how to carry on the next generation of corruption against the profane. Do you know what I mean? And that's all that is, you know, and it goes on and on and on, you know, and it never stops and it never will stop, you know. And this is the thing, these people here are what runs your town and city. I'm going to start with these 2 books next time, so if you want to watch, I'm going to show you, you know, the 2, you know, the hilts and the swords and all the bollocks, you know, because this is what you're fighting, you know. Look, kings, queens, crowns and coronets. Do you know what I mean? This is what it is, you know. dukes, earls, viscounts, barons. Do you see what I mean? You know, and that's all the same. Do you know what I mean? Nobles, marquises. Do you know what I mean? And that's all you're fighting all the time in every lodge. Do you know what I mean? These people. You know, they're the ones that, you know, if there's somewhere like, you know, somewhere to conquer or go, they send their Freemasons, the Knights Templars, you know, and they try and find the gold and that, and then they kill everyone who had access to the gold, and then after they do that, you know what I mean? Oh Christ, it says you're live. Have I been spieling away and I ain't even been live? I hope bloody not. You know what I mean? But look, all of these are a ranking. You see what I mean? And this is the thing. This is the crests, the family crests. Right there. Oh yeah, the gang stalking. They're right at it. They got me in a 223 geometry ritual on ley lines. Yeah, they will do, mate. They get you on the ley lines. They really tuned the heat up on the gang stalking this year. I wonder why. Yeah, you're speaking too much truth, I reckon. They turned my one hand acer into trapezoid. Jingle body maybe a temple set. Yeah, you're right. Negative the extra tailbone they don't like. Yeah, bloody right, mate. I'll tell you that for nothing. But this is what you're fighting, you know. This is in every town and city, you know. This is a county, you know, like ours is three heron and a lions, you know. But that's what you're fighting, these people like this. Do you know what I mean? And you know, it's in the heraldry. This is the secret to Freemasonry, and it's in every lodge, you know, the heraldry of it all, you know. Fleur de piss. And if you carry on and look enough, you'll see, you know, on the square, look, 3 squares on the square. You know, the triple tall cross, look, see? All Freemasonry, that's all it is. These are just Freemasonry. And they've been warmongering for years, obviously. And they had their competitions, you know, like where 2 knights would knock each other off a horse. You know, that was just lodges, you know what I mean? Because they were you know, because they were in the importance of it all, you know what I mean? Just all Freemasonry. That's all you're fighting. You're still fighting these people, and they ain't going to relinquish power. They're just not riding horses and got shields and, you know, and thingies no more. Do you know what I mean? Look, see, fleur de piss, same thing everywhere. It doesn't matter where it is in your town. You'll see the same configuration of everything. It doesn't matter where you are around the world, or should I say across the world. Look, see, everywhere, baby. But I'll go through this later in part 2. This is part 1. I mean, I've been on here hours now. Come on, we all need a break. Let's all have a coffee and then we'll start again, yeah? You know, it makes sense. Do you know what I mean? And I'll go through it. I'm just saying, you know, but look, it's all there, babies. All in the history. You know what I mean? Look, Knights Templar cross right in the middle of there. Look. Bosh. Then as you go through it all, and I'll show you some of these in here. You know, all these, look, there it is, look, right there, my profane friends, look. There it is, look, on the shield, look. You see it there, look. See, look. The heraldry, look. Square and calm piss. And there's your 6 sides, 6 points, 6 pyramids. Do you know what I mean? And that's you know, that's what it is. That's what you're fighting, you know. It's there, mate. You're just fighting the same people over and over again. They don't relent, you know. Nope. They don't relent, these people. I've gone through this book before, but you know, I'll start it next, and then I'm going to go through again. I'll give you another lodge, the most worshipful Grand Lodge book again. Yeah, again, look, public schools, look, public education should be a strong and very important part of our fraternal community involvement. You see what I mean? Providing scholarships to those deserving students and encouraging students to seek higher education, which would be their people, of course. Promote the ideas of this country through the sponsorship with the school system of essay contests, etc. Recognise and honour those outstanding students and teachers in each of the schools within our respective communities. You see what I mean? By the presentation of certificates and appreciations through our Grand Lodge, the presentations of the United States flag that has flown in the US Capitol, and support of other recognized awards such as the Golden Apple Award, the Golden Ruler Award, etc. Cooperate with the school system in the organisation of first aid classes, driving classes, etc. Development and supervise playgrounds, assist authorities in solving problems of juvenile delinquency and probation. You know what I mean? And then you get into youth activities and all that. But I'll show you this book next time. It's one of my one of the next books I'll be showing you. There's things on here like, you know, the Vigilance Committee should always render a written report of its investigation to the worshipful master, true or false. You see what I mean? And this is where, you know, again they put it all in, like, tick the boxes for us. You know, so again, this is a lot of the, you know, the answers, what we should tick in the boxes if we ever become a Mason. Do you know what I mean? You know, the junior warden is chairman of the Vigilance Committee. True. It is proper for the treasurer to disperse lodge funds in a charitable matter without the actions of the lodge. False. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll go through this one as well. Do you know what I mean, my profane friends? And I'm sure this is the book that had they get £100,000 straight away as soon as they become a master mason. Anyway, it's late here, my profane friends. I'm now on the 2 hour. I love you all. You're the best. All right. Have a great day. And how do I end it? How do I end this? I don't even know how to end it. Save highlights. Share. Or mute microphone. I don't know how to do it. Just hit the cross at the top. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Okay. See you later, my profane friends.